Hello everybody, it's Crafty Carol here with another little project for my Christmas countdown, and this is a little gift bag that another UK demonstrator, I saw her make it years ago and I've made quite a few of them since, but it's lovely. It's just a little tiny bag. It flips open like that, and inside I've just got a little chocolate bar, and those little mini chocolate bars fit in there beautifully, or you can put a couple of Quality Street or whatever in there nicely. It fits after 8s as well, and this is my own patented closure mechanism that I developed myself because I couldn't think of a nice easy way to actually close it that didn't involve tying ribbon and all sorts of stuff like that. We can talk about the different ways to close them as we make them, but just a really little simple gift bag and a brilliant way to use up some of your 6x6 designer series paper. So put that to one side. What you need for this project is some 6x6 designer series paper, of course, because we're using that up. And for the tag to go over the top, I've actually used this, which is a piece of real red card, and it's 5 centimetres by 10.5 centimetres. Can't remember what that is in inches. I've also got some scrap for the sentiment, a little tiny scrap. This is my little scrap for my closure mechanism, and that is 4 centimetres by 1 centimetre. And I've got a little bit of ribbon as well, but you can see that in as I make it up. So the first thing, how to make the bag. I've just buried my, oh dear, I buried my measuring thing under my trimmer under loads. So get rid of the cutting blade because we don't want that. So 2 ways of this. I'm going to use that sideways. So this is slightly directional paper. I've definitely got an up and down and a sideways. So on the sideways side, you need to score at 2.5 or 6.25 centimetres and 3.5 or 8.75 centimetres. Then on the up and down side, or the other side if it's non-directional, you want to score at 1.5 or 3.75 centimetres, and at, or about 3, yeah, and at 4.5, which is 11.4 centimetres. 4.5 inches, there we go. Yeah, so that is all the scoring we need to do. How simple is that? So all I'm going to do now, and I could use either side actually, but I think I'm going to use this side. So I'm just going to get my bone folder and I'm going to carefully crease all of those folds that I have just done. So really simple. If you remember it in inches, it's really simple because it's 1.5 on one side, 2.5 and 3.5 on the other 90-degree side, and 4.5 on the first side again. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, and a half each time. So you end up with these 4 folds, and the only fiddly bit for this bag is that for each of these little side folds, you've got these two scored bits in the middle and then the wider ones. So the scored bits in the middle here, we're going to fold down from this crease, if you can see it, down to this one. So we're just going to squeeze the bag together and push that fold towards the other, and you want to make sure that it lines up, get it nice and lined up, and then all you're going to do is squeeze down the inside with your finger. Okay, so it forms, can you see that on the inside? Forms that on the inside, and you're going to do that on all 4 of these. So between the little score line in the middle and the side, we're just going to push it together, push the folds together, make sure they line up, and then squeeze the inside bit there. So we come in and we squeeze down that bit there. So it ends up like that. And we do that on both sides. So again, taking the side, squeezing it in, making sure it lines up. There we go. And then flattening and just running I run my fingernail down, and that seems to provide a good enough bend, to be honest. And the final one, so we squeeze it in, line up, and then run the finger down like that. So that is basically the bag. And these two side bits fold in, and I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on each of those 4 corners just to hold it. You can actually do this without gluing these flaps, but I think it actually holds it nicely. So I just put a little bit of glue in all of those 4 corners, and that's literally all you need. Fold those in flat so that those bits fold down and hold together. And that is the bag. When I pull it together like this, I just push in with my fingers at the side and just squeeze a little bit. There we go. And that is the little bag. And as I say, it's big enough for a couple of little treats or a little mini Mars bar or other little mini chocolate bar. So nice little treat things. Useful for your Christmas table, for decorations on your Christmas table. So to finish it off, we're going to put the decoration bit on, as you can see from here. So I hope that's been clear for everybody. So we've folded each of these to the side, which gives us a crease here on each side. And then we've just slightly squeezed it there to form the bag. Right, so to do, there's my 5 centimetre by 10.5 centimetre bit, and I'm using my scalloped tag punch. This one, I can't remember if this is still current or not, to be honest. But anyway, I'm going to slide my tag in there. It's just slightly bigger than 5 centimetres. Might take a little trim off that, to be honest. Obviously didn't measure that terribly well. 5 centimetres, there we go. So I'm going to slide that in to my punch and punch down, and that gives me my, with a little bit on the side that I always have to trim, honestly. I'm not doing very well today. There we go. Just trim that off. So that gives me my tag, and then all I'm going to do is simply, just by eye, roughly fold it in half. Just making sure that my sides are parallel, and I can crease just with my fingers, and that forms my folded bit across the top. So just get rid of those bits. So now I stick it onto my bag, and I'm just going to stick it on one side, but I don't like to leave these pointed like that, so I'm going to use my corner rounder. Let me find it. It's just over here. I can't find my Stampin' Up one. This is actually not Stampin' Up, but any corner rounder will do. I just think it just looks nicer with a slightly rounded side. So I've now lost my glue. I'm doing really well today, losing everything. So all I'm going to do is put a little bit of glue on that side of my tag, the inside back piece, and that's the bit that I'm going to stick down in the middle on the back like that. So I just eyeball it. You can measure it if you want. I'm just going to stick it down like that, make sure it's stuck. That's lovely, and that gives me my closure. And as I say, even if you bend it tight, it will hold closed. You don't need any way to hold it closed. Other people, what they've done is punched some little holes and put some ribbon through, or used a glue dot or something. But I quite liked the idea of being able to hold it closed with like a belt loop, if you like. And that's why I got this little piece of 4x1. And all I do with that is I'm going to just use my scissors to form a little point at the top. So again, measure this if you want, or just do it by eye if you're okay to do it like that, like I have done. It's not quite even. Let me just make that even. There we go. It's probably a good reason for not doing it by eye. There we go. And all I'm going to do is stick down about the bottom centimetre. So you just want a little bit of glue like that there on the bottom centimetre of this strip, and then it's going to go here. I can hold it down there and just stick it against the box at the bottom. Okay, pull that off while I stick it down, because I'm going to hold it inside. I think it's going to be easier. There we go. I don't want to squash the box by holding it, so I'm just going to hold it there till it's stuck. Give it a minute or two, and there we have it. And this forms, because this little tab here goes through the hole in the punch and just holds it closed. So that's the way of doing it. As I say, you could use a glue dot or a ribbon, but I think this is just a nice, pretty way to do it. Then to finish the whole thing off, I've already cut out with the Stylish Shapes die. Oh, a little bit of red there. Put that away. Just one of the little chevrons, the sort of big chevron, and that fits beautifully the Be Jolly stamp from the Celebrate with Tags set, which has got a lot of lovely things you can stick on. You could use the pictures or whatever. There's the kisses, various other ones you could use if you wanted, but I decided to use Be Jolly. So I'm just going to use some real red. This is my old stamp pad, which I have re-inked, and it's very inky. So, oh, very, very inky. Still, hopefully it'll be okay. And then I'm just going to stamp that in the middle. You could stamp it first, then cut it out, obviously, if you want. There we go. Told you it was really inky. My ink pad. A little bit too inky, methinks. Never mind. That will do. For the purposes of showing you what I was doing anyway. If I was giving this to somebody else, it might well just do that again. But it'll do for now. So to put it together, really simple. I've cut myself a short piece of real red ribbon as well. And I'm just going to use a little bit of tear and tape to go across my tab. And I'm going to put it at a bit of an angle. So put that across like that. And just take the top off. I can stick my ribbon on. I want that to go so it's roughly the same each side. There we go. Could use a contrasting ribbon, of course, if you wanted to. And then on the back of my, if I can find them, where have I put my dimensions? There, hiding at the side. I put them under the punch, of course. There we go. And I just use a couple of dimensionals, one either side. And what that actually does is allow for the point of the closure buckle, if you like, closure tab, to go underneath, and it just tucks it away. Looks neat. So there we have another Be Jolly. So shall I stick that on straight? I might do, actually. So we've got a ribbon at the angle. I'm going to stick that one on straight. I stuck the other one on at an angle, but yeah, angle might look better. Have I got, has that stuck too much? Or can I, oh, no, I think I might be able to just ease it off to move it. Yes, I can. So we'll stick it along the ribbon, actually. Yeah, there we go. There. And to finish it off, all I've done, you can see on this one I've already done, I've actually used some of the pearlised accents that we've now got, which are just beautiful. They come in the 3 colours. This one is black. It actually looks more like green. So I've used it on a green card and it looks quite green. White and red. And they're the 2 I've used on here. So I will do the tab bit first. And you can put as many of these or as few of these as you want. So I might put perhaps one here to cover up that poor bit of stamping. I'm going to put one the other end to balance. There we go. And the key is when you put them on, do not touch it. Leave it. They can take probably about 6 hours to dry fully. They'll be sort of vaguely touch dry in about 20 minutes, but you might want a bit more. So then I'm going to just do a couple of little splodges on here as well. So this is my... It's called white. It's actually nearer a silver, to be honest. So we'll just have a big one and getting smaller. A daddy, a mummy and a baby each side. And then I just need to leave that. They'll form these nice domes and dry. And as long as I don't touch it before they're dry, there we have it. So, nice little gift bags made out of 6x6 paper. I hope you enjoyed that project. Let me see what else you've done with it. Bye for now.